Welcome back to the channel. I'm Fausto Carnevale, international tax consultant, and in this video we will talk about the relocation plan. What are the things to consider before moving to Europe? We are based in Brussels and we also have an accounting office in Italy. So we are, specialized in the taxation in Europe. So in this video I just wanted to give you some advice, and also especially if you want to move in Europe, and also what are the best tax regime, and what you have to do before and after you're staying in Europe. So there are three main things to consider. The first thing is the housing, but I'm not talking about where or if you want to buy a house. I'm talking about what to do with your old house. It is better to rent it, or it is better to sell the house and buy another house or apartments for investments in Europe. In general, it is better to sell the house, because if you sell the house before that you move, let's say, to Italy, you won't pay taxes on this capital gain, let's say, if you have a capital gain, and you can reinvest, and for instance, you will avoid this thing, to be more precise. If you rent your house in the US, let's say, you may need to pay a difference in taxes in Europe, because let's say that in US you have in general lower taxes for the rental properties. Let's say it's 25-30%. In Europe you will pay the difference, so you will have the tax credit, but normally if the amount is big and if you have other sources of income with the tax brackets, you as a physical person, normally you will pay more in taxes. So this is the first advice. Then, of course, we have to evaluate the return on investment, how much your house is worth, etc., etc. All those things we can discuss in a specific consulting call. Second point is the working. If you want to work as an employee, I don't have to do a consulting with you, because you can see the pay slip, gross versus net. The most important thing is if you want to work as a freelance. One of the best tax regime in Europe is the regime forfettario in Italy. Because if you earn less than if you invoice, less than 85,000 euro per year, you will pay a flat tax of combined social contribution and taxes less than 22%. So this is the top tax regime in Europe. One of the best tax regime, of course, as a freelance. And even if you are retiring in Italy, you will have these tax regimes only, and you can use it. For instance, you can still work a bit while enjoying your retirement, or let's say taking also money from other sources of income. Be aware, for instance, in Italy is this, but in Europe is the same. You cannot use you cannot use together multiple tax benefits. Like in Italy, you cannot use regime patriati forfettario, for instance, and the 7% flat tax, okay? The third thing is dividends. What happened with dividends in Europe? Unfortunately, we have to analyze the double treaty, but for the most of the time, they are taxed twice, unfortunately. So let's say you live in Italy, or you live in Germany, and you have dividends from Italy. Normally, you would pay a percentage in Italy and a percentage in Germany, which normally combined is always a little bit higher than if you would compared to what you would have paid in only one country. I'll give you an example. In Belgium, I did a tax return for a Spanish girl, and basically she paid 19% in Spain. So let's say she got 100 euro. She paid 19 euro taxes, and Belgium also wanted 15%. Of course, it's not 15 plus 19, it's a little bit less, because then the Belgium taxes 100 minus what she has already paid, but you can see it's almost a double taxation. So you have to avoid the double taxation on those sources of income. So those are my best 3 tips. And to conclude the video, remember that the forfeit regime is really one of the best tax regime, because also to get the VAT number, to get the status as independent in Italy, it's very easy, and you can continue to work, and you can retire, and then you can have this status basically forever if you want to continue to work even in your 60s. Or let's say you just want to work 1 hour per week with this regime, the good thing is that you do not pay social contribution. You do not pay fixed social contribution, like in Belgium, that for instance you have to pay minimum 900 euro per quarter. In Italy, with this regime only, you pay 26.9% on the profit calculated. So this is another formula, but with the forfeit regime, actually then the profit is reduced automatically. So that's why at the beginning I said 22% taxes and social contribution. So the profit is reduced via a coefficient, and then you will pay taxes and social contribution. But if you earn €1, you will pay the social contribution on that €1. So I hope that you like this video. Please subscribe to the channel, and if you want to book a specific consulting call, you can find all the description in the link below.